Hey guys, Chris here, and I want to do a video today on validation and how to stop looking for validation outside of yourself and to come back to yourself, to appreciate yourself and to know that you can give yourself your own validation. From when we were children and we're looking to our parents, now we constantly perhaps look into our friends or in relationships. And most common one is in social media as well. And if you can let go of that validation seeking, of needing the validation outside of yourself, you can come back to yourself, you can validate yourself, and also you can begin to heal. To the point where you don't need the validation from anyone else anymore. And then when you tell people, sometimes it is good just to get that little bit of validation, but it's not needed. It's not like essential to ourselves. This has been a big part of my journey. And a great challenge I set myself was just over the last few days was just to be aware of every time I'm looking for validation, if something great's happening to me. So, for example, I'm staying in a hotel room at the moment, and I would normally just message loads of people and say, "Hey, guess where I'm at? And look at this, look at that, look at this." And I just thought, you know what? I'm just not going to message anyone. I'm not going to tell anyone. And it allowed me to sit with myself and just to feel the gratitude and feel my worth and feel like, look, I deserve to be in a nice place around, in a beautiful environment, and sitting with those feelings. A big part of the bypassing as well, that we bypass our feelings. We don't stick with the we don't stick with what we're actually feeling. We feel maybe quite sad or angry or something triggers us, and then we go and we eat some junk food or we do something like that. And yesterday I had like a massive bag of crisps, and I think that's the first time I've ate them in like a good month or so. It used to be a massive like craving for me. Like every Friday, Saturday night I needed to eat like some crap basically. And then what I've noticed now is that I don't really, it's like I didn't really need it. It's actually felt quite sickening in my body, and then I felt a bit rough after it. And I realized I was just doing that to fill a certain need. We can give all the needs to ourselves. We can love ourselves. We can give ourselves all the validation we need. So, a good tip is every time you're looking for validation outside, and you just become aware of who you're asking validation for. And, as I've gone on this journey more and more, I've started to find people now who are, giving that validation back to me, and not really judging me. I think in the beginning, you never really get the validation. You look for the validation, you never get it. And then we always focus on when we don't get it. That's particularly, say, on the YouTube video or something like that. You get 20 people like it, and then you get one person who doesn't like it, or one person leaves a negative comment, and you're so fixated on that negative comment. You're not bothered you're not even looking at the other ones where you are actually getting the validation, because we're always feeling like we aren't enough and we need to get the validation. We're focusing on the people who don't give us the validation, but that's remembering, paying attention to the negative thoughts where it's like, look, I am not good enough. And then we're so fixated on believing those negative thoughts on why we can't feel good. So a great challenge I recommend for you is just to just spend a week and just be with yourself, even if you can get off social media as well. When you feel sad, when you feel down, just stay with those uncomfortable feelings, and sort of just stay with yourself. When you're having negative thoughts, just be and saying like, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. Then reaffirm to yourself, look to yourself and say, no, I do deserve this, rather than then looking outside and saying, finding a certain person who needs to validate that back to you. And I think that's part of the journey. We need to find those people who can reaffirm things back to us in that kind of light, so we can find it in ourselves. So if you do get to that point, then great. And sit and do your best to not bypass any feelings. Be aware of when you feel sad and you go and you watch TV, or you start eating junk food, or you're watching porn, or whatever is your escape. Just be aware of that. Sit with those feelings. If it's the porn or whatever it is, sit with the sexual frustration and stay with it, and learn to feel those feelings. If it's a certain habit that you want to get past, because some of these habits can lead us to the next day feeling terrible. And that's because we can't just sort of sit there and think, okay, it's okay to feel this way. We've not got it from outside of ourselves, and ultimately we have to give it to ourselves. And it is possible to live a life like that and be happy and be peaceful, without particularly being in a relationship. Of course, that can be a great way to live. but we can ultimately be okay on our own. So a challenge I would set everyone, and to try it is good, and I'm going to do it for the next week, is to spend a whole week without, getting validation from anywhere. Looking to get validation from anywhere, from maybe go off social media. Every time you want to text someone, just be aware of, okay, I'm looking for validation right now, and then maybe just writing down how that makes you feel, and look to find a way to give it back to yourself. And if you really do struggle at the end of this challenge, I would recommend, just working with a coach, working with someone who's already at that level, who's already can validate themselves. And what you will find is if you do sessions with them, they'll normally just keep reaffirming back to you that you are actually good enough. So that's part of what I wanted to share with you guys. I still do get it. I still do put maybe videos out, and I want to get likes, or with my meetup groups, that there's sort of an attachment to how many people come. And again, it's the validation. It's like, it shouldn't really matter, as long as you feel in your heart you're doing what's right, and you feel good enough, that shouldn't matter. So thought I'd share that with you guys, and yeah, take it out, and see you in the next video.